I'm Captain Williams, and I would like to welcome everyone to the inaugural Public Safety Awards breakfast. Today, we would recognize and celebrate the outstanding performance and commitment of public safety personnel, both sworn and civilian, from the DeKalb County Police Department, DeKalb County Fire Rescue, DeKalb County Animal Services, DeKalb County Emergency 911 Communications, DeKalb County Emergency Management Agency, and the DeKalb County Medical Examiner's Office. The awards that will be presented here today truly highlight the hard work and dedication of the DeKalb County Public Safety team. The citizens of this great county can rest assured knowing that they are being served and protected by the finest men and women in public safety. We are truly excited for all award recipients. I will now introduce the leadership of the DeKalb County government and the DeKalb County Office of Public Safety. When I call your name, please stand and be recognized. DeKalb County Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Michael L. Thurmond. District 1 Commissioner, Ms. Nancy Jester. District 2 Commissioner, Jeff Rader. District 3 Commissioner, Larry Johnson. District 4 Commissioner, Stephen Bradshaw. District 5 Commissioner, Marita Davis Johnson. Super District 6 Commissioner, Kathy Gannon. Super District 7 Commissioner, Ms. Lorraine Cochran Johnson. Public Safety Director, Mr. Joseph Jack Lumpkin Sr. Acting Animal Services Director, Assistant Chief Moses Ector. DeKalb County Fire Rescue Chief Darnell Fulham. Emergency 911 Director, Mr. Marshall Mooneyham. Director of the Medical Examiner's Office, Pat Bailey. The DeKalb County Police Department Command Staff. The DeKalb County Fire Rescue Command Staff. I would also like to recognize former Assistant Chief John Pearson. Please stand. Also, Madam Solicitor, Ms. Donna Stribling. Please stand. Now, will everyone else please stand for the invocation given by Chaplain Olivia Maxwell, and remain standing for the presentation of colors by the DeKalb Police Honor Guard, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance and National Anthem.
Blessings. John McCain is noted as saying that nothing in life is more liberating than to fight for a cause larger than yourself, something that encompasses you but is not defined by your presence or existence alone. Our collective genius in the pursuit of truth, in the pursuit of justice, in the pursuit of safety, compassion, and community concern defines and defies us and defies all generations. Let us pray. God who resides in each of us, God who is light and dark, God who gathers us together today collectively, unified as a group of servants, thankful that you have trusted us to be your hands and to be your feet. In a time where trust is limited and trust is circumspect, we thank you for using us as vessels of your goodness, of your grace, and of your mercy. We honor you for this occasion to be able to stand and say that we are servants and we serve those on your behalf. We ask God that you will bless this occasion today, that you will bless all these fine servants that are being recognized, and God, that you would create and mold in us the servant's heart on a consistent basis in a time where it is most desperately needed. We honor you and we thank you. Collectively we say, Amen.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last day, whose restless and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the boats by sailing gave through the night that our flag was still there. Say, does that star-spangled banner wave o'er the land and the free and the heart of the
Forward. March. Please join me in a moment of silence for all police officers and firefighters that have given their lives in the service and protection of their communities. Also, please say a special prayer for K9 Django that was injured yesterday. Thank you. Please be seated. It is now my pleasure to bring to the stage DeKalb County Chief Executive Officer Michael L. Thurmond.
Good morning. First of all, I want to, on behalf of DeKalb's governing authority, myself and the members of the Board of Commissioners, on behalf of DeKalb's 750,000 residents, to offer to the brave men and women gathered here and on duty all across our county our sincere appreciation for your courage, for your dedication, for your commitment to protect and serve our citizens. I've said it on multiple occasions that of the many responsibilities I have as CEO of DeKalb County, none is more sobering or more important than the responsibility I have to ask men and women like yourselves, sworn and non-sworn, to put their lives on the line every day to protect our citizens and our residents. I thank you. I pray for you, and I commit to you that as long as I hold this position, providing the best trained, the best equipped, and the best paid public safety team will be my highest priorities. I'm working now on my 2020 budget. Stand by. Money is short, but public safety will continue to be the #1 priority. I want to acknowledge we're here this day, quite frankly, because of a lady who you will meet shortly. But Ms. Monica Kaufman Pearson, over a year ago, she and her husband John, we were having a conversation, and it was her idea that we can do better, we can do more, and we can do a better job of expressing our love and support for the men and women who keep us safe. She made a commitment. Stand up, Monica and John, stand up. It's because of them. And y'all know Monica, she don't really ask you to do anything. She kind of just tell you what to do. Doesn't matter whether you're the CEO or whatever. And so I was directed to do everything and by the way, you know, I love Monica, but you know, I'm kind of scared of her too. I don't want to cross Monica. So I was directed to use whatever resources we had to support this effort. And this huge gathering here today is because this lady had a love, but more importantly, she had a vision for how we could better serve our men and women in uniform. Thank you, Monica, for being the great lady that you are. I want to acknowledge Miss Laurie Wexler, the Stone Ridge, who owns this facility. Where is Laurie? Where is she? Come out. This lady has donated this facility for us today. Give her a round of applause. Come up here.
Love y'all.
Standing ovation. Stand up for this lady. She donated this. Say something. No, say something, please.
When my good friend Charlene Fung asked me if I would get involved with this event, it took me about a half a second to say yes, and we'll donate to Donate Event Center. We had our first meeting with Charlene, Miss Monica, and Miss Olivia just a short few months ago, and we have you all in here today, and I'm so proud and happy to have you. Thank you for your service.
And we have to acknowledge Chef Davis. Let's give him a round of applause who could play out this wonderful breakfast. I don't know whether the chef is here. He's in the kitchen. But thank you once again. Thank you so much for all you do. And look, yesterday's news tell you what a dangerous, dangerous job that you've been called to do. All we can do as citizens and elected officials is to support you and to dedicate ourselves to ensuring that you get home safe to your family, to your loved ones, and your friends. Thank you so much. Thanks also to all the news personalities who are here. I want all of them to stand. Stand up. Kenny, all of these people we see on TV. Isn't it cool? I like that. You know, if you know the news personality, I don't care how bad the news is, I just feel better when I hear it. But thank y'all so much for being here. Thank you.
We will now have remarks by Public Safety Director Joseph Jack Lumpkin Sr.
Good morning, DeKalb County Public Safety, friends, and supporters. Good morning. Good morning. Isn't it a blessed day to have this gathering? Look around. You all are looking good. Those things that I thought I was going to say, Mr. CEO has welcomed and talked about the people. I thought at a moment there you were going to skip the media and say, I got one left. I can't recognize them. But you grabbed those too, sir. And we have had a number of different activities in this building, and certainly we appreciate the ongoing support of Ms. Wexler and the staff of this great facility. We appreciate the men and women that serve this community every day, from all of the public safety and the support of the general government. You, as public safety officials, are what President Roosevelt, Theodore Roosevelt, described as men and women in the arena. You are actually hands-on every day, helping and supporting our citizens live safely, while running towards danger for people that you don't know. That is admirable. That is courageous. That shows servant leadership. And we appreciate you. I've known the CEO probably since he was in short pants. I don't remember in diapers. But he's always been a supporter. He's always been a supporter of public safety. And he's always been thoughtful about what he does. I believe that we are moving forward, as he says, forward together. This is a collective effort. We are as strong as we are a team. Thank you for what you do daily. Be safe out there. God bless.
Morning. So I'm Major Eisner. I am the chair of the awards committee, and I have the best job today. I am here to introduce our mistress of ceremonies, who needs no introduction. But I'm going to do one anyway because she's awesome. So, if you've grown up in Atlanta, I think you probably know who Monica Pearson is. She is the icon of Atlanta news and beyond. She got her start when she was 16 at WLOU in Louisville on the radio. And I'm sure she had big dreams, but I can't imagine she knew when she came to Atlanta what she would mean to this city over the next 40 years. If you grew up here, she was part of your family because you ate dinner and you watched the news and she was there with you. If you grew up here, you know that when she was on, more people were watching her than they were watching any other channel, all the other channels. So we are really lucky to have her here today. So she retired, 37 years in service with WSB in 2012. Well-earned retirement. So you'd think she'd take it easy. But no, she does her weekly show on KISS 104, does her close-ups. That would be enough, you would think. But no, she also went back to UGA and got her master's in journalism. She graduated magna cum laude, which is very, very amazing. She has joined the Bureau of Jurors for the prestigious Peabody Award from UGA. She has obviously supported us in this. She has received so many accolades, I won't try and list them all, but 33 regional Emmys, a national Emmy for her interview with John Lewis. And she has been, I'll wrap it up. I'm sorry, Monica. She is in the Georgia Association of Broadcasters Hall of Fame. She is in the Georgia Music Hall of Fame. And she was inducted into the National Association of Black Journalists Hall of Fame. And as always, she and her husband, John Pearson, are there for DeKalb Police whenever we ask. Thank you so much for your support, and please give her a huge hand.
Thank you. Now,
don't you all have to admit this is better than Manuel Maloof Auditorium? Yes! I am so happy to see you, and this could not have been possible without the committee, from Olivia to Ms. Wexler. Come on out, Laurie. Charlene, I want y'all up here on the stage so everybody can see you, because my mother always said if you wanted anything done to get women to do it, I just wanted to show you the women who got this done. And it was a pleasure working with them, and most importantly, because we adore DeKalb County. My husband always says, when you are the best, you have to act like the best. And you all are the best. So that's why we wanted to have this event for you. Now, I'm not going to talk much longer because all of my anchors have to get back to do the noon news. So we're going to start out, and I want to explain to you that we came together as a group because no matter which station you work for, we all have to cover you, but more importantly, we all appreciate you for what you do. We see it on a daily basis. So my gratitude to my compatriots from Channel 5, Fox 5, from Channel 46, and of course from Channel 2 and Channel 11. So thank you all for being here, because without you, I think, what can I say? This event wouldn't have been what it should be for me. Your presence here takes it up another notch. So thank you very much. So I'm going to start out with my two buddies from 11 Alive. And I'm not going to do long introductions because they have a lot of awards to give out. I'll start out with Miss Sheba Russell. This is a young lady who moved here from Boston, Massachusetts, spent most of her childhood in Ocean Township, New Jersey. She is a top-notch journalist. She's very involved in the community. And in 2016, she joined the 11 Alive team as Atlanta's newest morning anchor. This Emmy award-winning journalist is competent. You knew that. She's brave. She's resourceful. And you know what? She's just damn good at what she does. And then Chesley, how many of you see him in the morning? And he makes you smile. Well, Chesley McNeil greets his audiences every weekday in the earliest mornings as the anchor of the morning news. Wake Up with Chesley on the 11 Alive network. He started his journey back in 2009. Boy, you've been here a while. And he's one of the, I guess you'd say, one of the most well-known personalities in the city already. He began his career at WRIC-TV in Richmond, Virginia. So he brought his smile, his umbrella, and his meteorology degree right here to Atlanta. He's a member of the American Meteorology Society, the National Weather Association, and the National Association of Black Journalists. And he's been awarded a bunch of awards, including the American Meteorological Society Seal of Approval. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them our seal of approval with applause as Sheba Russell and Chesley McNeil from 11 Alive come up.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. They may be more nervous than I am. Normally, before crowds, I'm good. Mm-hmm. But it's too many uniforms.
There's a lot of men and women in uniform here.
Yeah, I get a little stiff around uniforms, but we're going to try to do this, all right?
I think this might be the safest room in the state. All right?
Knock on wood.
All right, let's figure out this mic situation here a little bit. I'm going to take it off. Take it off. Okay, so in a time and season where things are consistently changing, it is so refreshing and shows great resilience and strength to see invested staff remain dedicated for more than 25 years. That's a long time. So today we celebrate and honor the following amazing DeKalb County fire staff that have been employed for over 25 years. When your name is called, please stand so that you can be recognized. And we just want you to hold the applause until the last name is called. This is the category of 25 years or more of service. Personnel Supervisor Tunisia Boone. Assistant Chief Jeffrey Crump. Battalion Chief Joseph Tinsley Jr. Captain Sel Caldwell III. Driver Operator Eric Catrone.
Assistant Chief Michael Lewis. DEMA Director Susan Loeffler. Senior Firefighter Patrick Miller. Captain John Donahue. Captain Marie Cosby Stilley. And Captain James Hendricks. Let's give them all a round of applause.
Okay, we're going to move on to DeKalb County PD now. And this is recognizing 25 years or more of service again. So please hold your applause. And as you're called, stand up. Don't be shy. All right, the first name, I'm sorry if I'm butchering this, but this looks like Gail Cara Baca.
First
Close?
female officer.
Oh, that was it. Okay.
First female officer in the history of DeKalb County.
First female officer in the history of DeKalb County. Michael Williams. Derry Williams. Tori Passmore. Ronald Gaither. Michael Yarbrough. Patricia Williams. And Douglas Gaddis.
Ketcha Bonds. Avis Chambers. Roderick Dennis. Donald James. Patrick Sherling. Kiefer DeForest. Sean Phillips. Alan Davis, and Charles Thomas.
Okay, please still stand. Jay Eisner, this is still for DeKalb County PD, 25 years or more of service. John Medina, Anthony Shover, Kenrick Banks, Juanita Grant, there she is. Darnell Ware, Hilton Stafford, Monica Lowe.
Jerrian Cole, Jody King, Alicia Guess, Candace Kearns, Vincent Gamble, Darrell Kitchen, Jamie Klaus, Kelly Smith, and Antonio Catlin.
All right, let's give everyone a round of applause. Congratulations. Our next category is for administrative commendation, and this is for Shannon Stolarski. About 2 years ago, Detective Stolarski began to see a need to improve the working environment in the Internal Affairs Unit. She saw an opportunity to use a new database to increase productivity and streamline the office's work, making it easier for internal and external users. She looked not only for the best program for IAU, but for the department as a whole. And the software that was ultimately selected was above and beyond what was originally planned, and help reduce the unit's workload a great deal. Detective Stolarski leads well and effectively, all while still performing her detective roles under an increased workload. Please welcome and congratulate Shannon Stolarski. Come on down, she's all the way in the back. Getting the steps in. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Do I need some good?
Congratulations.
Up next, we have Gregory Vanderpool for administration accommodation. On August 3rd of this year, Lieutenant Vanderpool held a back-to-school backpack rally giveaway at Walmart. Not only did he use this way to provide backpacks for local children on their first day of school, but he also included the Special Operations Division unit to teach parents and children about traffic and pedestrian safety. To support the division's initiative to reduce traffic accidents and fatalities, Lieutenant Vanderpool handed out over 50 backpacks during the event, a ton of school supplies, and opened a door for conversations between law enforcement and to present this event to the community. Ladies and gentlemen, Gregory Vanderpool.
All right. Accepting the award on Mr. Vanderpool's behalf would be Chesley's trying to run with the award. Okay. Thank you. Okay, our next recipient I know is not too far from the stage. In fact, he's right near where Monica was sitting. Okay, Paul Tusoni, Communications Officer 2, is recognized for his exceptional work and professionalism in the E911 Communication Center. Operator Tusoni has an innate ability to communicate effectively and answer emergency calls in a calm and timely manner. He excels in making appropriate judgments and maintains a calm and professional demeanor at all times while working with citizens, officers, fire, rescue, and his fellow coworkers. A certified training officer, Paul is heavily relied upon to convey his broad knowledge to newer trainees. On October 20th of last year, the DeKalb County Communication Center received a high volume of emergency calls regarding Gwinnett Police Officer Antoine Toney, who was killed in the line of duty earlier that day. DeKalb County Communications received a call that one of the subjects wanted in the murder of Officer Toney was seen at Stonecrest Mall in East Precinct. The call was immediately dispatched, and each precinct radio operator sent units to assist with apprehending the subject. Operator Tusoni was one of the many operators that exhibited exemplary teamwork in swiftly gathering and relaying information to the field units. All information that was gathered resulted in the apprehension of both murder suspects. Operator Tusoni demonstrates accuracy, thoroughness, and orderliness in achieving quality, and you know that is hard to find in an employee these days. He displays the ability to process and relay information in a clear and timely manner while handling stressful, life-threatening events. Operator Tusoni produces a high quality of work and is commended for his 3 years of commitment and dedication to the citizens of DeKalb County. So please give a huge round of applause to Paul Tusoni. Everyone's so shy.
He said, I didn't know I had to come up. As we call your name, we would like you to start making your way to the stage. All right? Risha Jenkins. Yeah, make your way to the stage. Yeah. Communications Officer 3, which is the highest. All right? Communications Officer Jenkins is a 15-year veteran dispatcher, which demonstrates exceptional leadership in her communication department. She inspires and motivates her team to achieve and establish goals. Her experience is routinely on display when handling high-volume calls and high-priority police and fire tactical incidents. Communications Officer number 3, Jenkins.
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
All right. She displays professionalism, she's doing right now, and great customer service daily. She effectively uses her position as one of our senior tally communicators to have a positive influence on her peers. Communication Officer 3, Jenkins, is a hard-working, dependable employee and always stays focused on the task assignments. Jenkins maintains a high degree of good judgment and experience, independence, while evaluating emergency and non-emergency situations. She demonstrates excellence in her daily assignments and frequently has to make split decisions, quick on her feet. Communications Officer Jenkins demonstrates a high degree of attention, maintaining a professional demeanor and interacting with other divisions, subordinates, citizens, and upper management. Risha Jenkins embodies service and performance for our Emergency Communications Center, and she is an assistant to the Charlie team, and we appreciate her hard work and all of her dedication. Ladies and gentlemen, Risha Jenkins.
Thank you.
We have another communications officer, 3, Debbie Yarbrough. Please make your way to the stage, Debbie. What a bright smile. I can see it all the way across the room and in this picture here. She has been with the DeKalb County Emergency Center since February 1992. What were you doing in 1992? She is a loyal, dependable, and knowledgeable employee and is looked upon as a courteous and professional employee at all times. She works well with others and is routinely utilized as a certified training officer for newer employees. Her calm demeanor helps newer, less experienced operators who may be having a difficult time training to get to a point where they can work independently. And she has been called upon to assist the supervisory staff when needed as well. So Debbie received CTO of the Year for 2018. Her fire rescue skill set is impeccable, and she is consistently used whenever the county experiences weather-related and/or fire-related significant events. Are you in need today? Oh, you're tired. Okay. CO3 Yarbrough reports for duty, ready and willing to serve the citizens of the county, often working overtime to ensure that citizens are served well. And throughout her 28-year career, she has been viewed upon as relatable, positive, and experienced. It is with great honor that the Bravo team commends her service and commitment to the work of serving those in need. So once again, Debbie Yarbrough. Retired now. Congratulations.
Eric Z. Minter, make your way to the stage. On Tuesday, July 9th, in 2019, investigator Minter, with a dedicated heart for justice and conduct, an investigation into a reported death of a 49-year-old female. The scene investigation did not initially reveal any obvious cause of death. Further investigation revealed that the descendant had been in an environment days prior in which the investigation revealed that the descendant may have been exposed to. Investigator Minter, in collaboration with the Public Health and CDC, were able to confirm that the descendant had been in an environment in which Legionella bacteria had been discovered. Further examination and testing confirmed Legionella to be the contributory factor in the young descendant's death. Investigator Minter went above and beyond to ensure that no additional deaths reported during the same time period had been exposed, reducing further impact to citizens in DeKalb County. Excellent work. Investigator Minter is commended for his excellent work and tirelessness throughout the investigation during the event, ensuring no further citizens were affected. We thank you to Investigator Minter for helping keep our citizens safe. Investigator Minter, give him a round of applause.
That is it for our time up here. 11 Alive, Morning Rush, 5 to 7 a.m. It is an honor to be here with all of you today, to feel protected, but also I know every day each and every one of you help us out. We can't do our jobs without you speaking to us and helping us out, so we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And enjoy the rest of your day, you two. I understand you all have to scoot out for competitive reasons. Now it's time for me to introduce to you two more of my colleagues. One I consider my little sister for more than one reason, because we're both members of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. So I'm talking about Ms. Karen Greer. She's been named one of Atlanta's 100 Women of Influence by the Atlanta Business League. And you all know her so well for all of her community involvement. Karen is from Chicago originally. She's been in the market quite a while and serves on the Board of Governors for the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences. She is an Emmy Award-winning anchor, and she's a member of the Magnolia chapter of the Lynx, a board member of the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, a member of the Greater North Atlanta chapter of Jack and Jill of America, and she's on the board of Sport of Giving. What can I say? She's my little sister. I love her dearly. She's the mom of 2 great sons, and she's just, to me, television royalty. And she's joined by what I consider a newcomer, and he is taking over mornings, too. He and Chesley are kind of boxing it out because they both have the same great personality. I'm talking about Rodney Harris. He's an award-winning weather anchor and digital content producer for CBS 46 right here in Atlanta. His fascination with atmospheric science began at a very early age, and he's been involved with broadcasting since the 5th grade. He still has that baby face. He studied meteorology at Texas A&M University. He was previously the morning and noon anchor for KBTX-TV. Please welcome little sis, Karen Greer, and Rodney Harris, meteorologist. Woohoo! Only your sister would find the sassy picture of you, right? With your hand on your hip. Love you, Monty. Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are truly excited because we've been up since about, 1:30, 2:30 this morning. So we know you guys are ready for what we have, the awards, as we move on to the next part of our award ceremony, right? You ready, Rodney?
Ready to rock and roll.
Ready to rock and roll. All right, let us begin with our first department commendation. Let's get to come to the stage Tamika Mentor, Wakita Poole, Tasha Edwards, LaShonda Fitch, and Donna German. On May 5th of this year, 911 notified Sergeant Lunn of a female who was trying to drop off an infant at the North Central Precinct. The woman was met by Watch Commander German in the lobby. When Sergeant Lunn arrived, she was handed the child, and the woman began to walk off. Sergeant Lunn gave the infant to Watch Commander German, who continued to care for her and watch the child while the sergeant spoke to the mother. Watch Commander German and the Alpha team went above and beyond to care for that infant, all while continuing to do their important work in the 911 center. Let's give them a big round of applause. And while they're doing that, I want to say, Officer Marcus Olds, where are you? Stand up, please. Officer Marcus Olds, I know you're here. Wave your hand. It is his birthday today. His mommy came and told me that. So proud and so excited that parents, loved ones, friends are able to celebrate with him today. Don't get me, and don't get her. She's just proud of you.
Happy birthday. All right, next for the following, come up to the stage, please. Sergeant Craig D'Imperio, Officer Gilbert, Officer Prather, Officer Antoine, and Officer O'Neill. On July 26, 2018, EastNet task force officers noticed a green Pontiac that Atlanta Police Department had previously put a bolo out for. Now, this vehicle was believed to be involved in the death of an Atlanta security guard. They ran surveillance on the vehicle and called Atlanta homicide. While waiting, a man got into the car and attempted to leave. The officers were quick to block the exit, so the suspect attempted to jump the curb with the vehicle. Now, when this did not work, he fled on foot, where the officers chased and eventually caught him. It was later discovered that the suspect was also involved in a armed robbery, a whole lot of armed robberies in Atlanta and DeKalb County. Congratulations to all of you.
If we can get the recipients to come up on the left side of the stage and stand, that would be much appreciated so we can see all your pictures and everything behind you and see you. All right. Can we get Captain Hughes, Officer Kimball, Officer Richardson, and Officer Garma to please come to the stage and stand to my left? On July 24th of this year, SouthNet team officers responded to a call concerning a stolen vehicle spotted by Captain Hughes. The group included Officers Richardson, Kimball, and Garma. They conducted a traffic stop on that vehicle and took both the driver and the passenger into custody. Well, the vehicle was indeed stolen, and while the officers were contacting the detectives, the driver of the vehicle divulged that the passenger was the wig bandit, responsible for several serial armed robberies throughout DeKalb County. Congratulations on getting that one solved. Oh, you need to come this way for your handshakes. I'm sorry.
All right, next up is Officer Marcus Brooks. Will you please come to the stage? Marcus Brooks. On June 18th of this year, Officer Brooks was leaving a part-time job when he noticed slow-moving traffic on 285. When he got closer to halt the traffic, he was flagged down and left his patrol vehicle. He talked with a woman who was there, and after getting some information, noticed a male was lying on the ground who wasn't breathing. Officer Brooks began chest compressions until he heard the man cough and then elevated his head to ensure an open airway for the man to breathe.
Officer Penrose, please come join me to the stage to my left. May 3rd of this year, Officer Penrose was dispatched to a person shot call. When officers arrived, the injured person was not there, though there were clear signs that indicated that someone had been hurt. Upon searching, the officers were able to find the injured party and bandaged the multiple wounds. His actions saved the life of that injured party. Congratulations. Thank you.
All right, next up is Major A. Mears and Officer R. Vire. Please come to the stage. Major A. Mears and Officer R. Vire. On September 21st, 2018, Detective Vire heard Major Mears over the radio concerning a call pertaining to an elderly woman who was bleeding from her head. He went to see if he could assist, and upon arrival, noticed that the woman was still bleeding heavily. He used his medical kit to control the bleeding, and after determining that the paramedic arrival time was too long, they loaded her into the back of the police car and took her to the hospital. Congrats to you both.
Can we get Howard Jenkins to join us? On June 23rd of this year, the South Precinct Morning Watch team responded to a suicide call right on Candler Road on the bridge there. When they arrived, the officers found the individual on the bridge threatening to jump from the ledge and onto I-20. Well, officers shut down the traffic while the supervisor coordinated closing down the bridge and freeway. Meanwhile, Sergeant Jenkins began talking to the woman on the bridge. When Sergeant Jenkins determined it was safe to do so, he grabbed the woman's shirt and pants leg through the fence until that woman agreed to walk away from the ledge. Congratulations. Who are you? And who's this? That's my dad. Oh, I love that guy. He's a hero to us, too.
Absolutely, congrats. All right, up next is Robert Calatino, Victor Redrick, Lynn Schuler, and Vance Van Hees. Please come to the stage. In July 2019, homicide assault, East Precinct uniform, East Precinct net, and crime scene investigators spent 14 days investigating a murder case. They collected information, found and interviewed subjects, and processed scenes. They conducted warrants and collected evidence, and ultimately were able to make 5 felony arrests, as well as catching the murder suspect. Congrats to you all. Congratulations. All right. Can we get Michael Gamera, Timothy Harden, Kevin Hurst II, Timothy Lewis, and Trevor Pearson to join us? On March 26th of this year, officers were called to a situation with unknown circumstances. When they arrived, they determined they had encountered a mental health crisis, and the individual was armed. The officers were able to de-escalate the situation using excellent communication and sound decision-making skills. They're to be applauded for this. Let's give them a big round of applause. All right, next up, Brian Anderson, David Craig, Michael Hill, Michael Shepard, and Matthew Wade. If you're here, please come to the stage. Brian Anderson, David Craig, Michael Hill, Michael Shepard, and Matthew Wade. Officer Craig was running surveillance at a United Inn and Suites looking for a murder suspect. He was joined by Officers Hill, Anderson, Shepard, and Wade to help catch the suspect. Officer Craig watched as the suspect left one of the rooms and was seen with the maintenance worker. When asked where the suspect was located, initially the worker claimed that he had not seen the suspect. The officers then went to the hotel desk where they discovered that the suspect actually lived in the hotel. Then they obtained a key to the room and entered to find the suspect and friends there. The suspect, maintenance worker, and roommate were all taken into custody. Congrats to you all. All right. If we can get Ronald Anderson, Dennis Clark, Ronnie Crenshaw, Frank Cusimano, Sueva Eshelman, Alton Green, Bernadette Hooker, and Timothy Lewis to join me on the stage. On April 9th of 2019, officers Whitmer and Anderson responded to a rape call. Upon arrival, they were able to determine that the suspect was still in the area. They created a perimeter using officers Lewis, Clark, Taylor, Green, Crenshaw, and Hooker. The K-9 unit was called, and Sergeant Cusimano and Officer Eshelman came to the scene. Officer Eshelman began tracking the suspect with her K-9, headed towards a local church. As they were walking, Officer Taylor saw the suspect riding away from the church on a bike. Officer Taylor tried to stop the suspect, who took off on foot into the woods. Officer Taylor was able to catch that suspect and take him into custody, and Sergeant Cusimano and Officer Eshelman worked to find the evidence thrown away by the victim, which further served to tie him to the crime. That's teamwork. Congratulations.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
My name is Greg Avila from the Major Order Special Operations Division. I'm going to accept the award on behalf of Sergeant Frank Cusimano, who's not here. Sergeant Cusimano was the handler for K-9 Django, and by now you've heard what happened. K-9 Django is received care at the Blue Pearl Vet Hospital. He was shot last night tracking an offender in Tucker Precinct. Last night he had his first surgery. They did an exploratory surgery. He was struck in the abdomen with a bullet that fractured an area of his pelvis. The surgery last night was to look for any major damage to his life-threatening organs, and they found nothing. We received nothing but good news from the folks doing the surgery there. He's resting now at the hospital, and they're monitoring his health to make sure he's strong enough for a second surgery. During that bullet strike, one of his legs was fractured, and pretty severely. So the second surgery will look at whether or not they can repair the damage to his leg and return him to service and decide what happens from there. So on behalf of Frank Cusimano, his family, K-9 Django, I want to thank everybody for their thoughts, their prayers, and their support. And I also want to offer my thanks, even though they're not here, to the Blue Pearl Vet Hospital. They've done amazing work for us over the years, and in this case, it's been no different. Django is no stranger to Blue Pearl. They saved Django's life earlier, several years ago, when he was diagnosed with cancer, and he was treated with chemotherapy treatment there as well. So They've treated us like we're their family, and I can't thank them enough. So, again, on behalf of the family and K9 Django, thanks everybody for your support. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I think I had an Officer Taylor and Officer Whitmore on that one as well. Officer Taylor and Officer Whitmore. We were all there, and that's part of what Monica talked about. We are part of your community, and those stories are ones that people are hanging on to for every word, so we are so glad that Officer Django is doing better. All right, there's nothing more frightening than being in an accident, and then the accident is compounded by the fact that you're trapped inside your vehicle, pinned against a guardrail. Officer Lancaster was in such an accident, and Mr. David Scott promptly exited his vehicle and came to the aid of Officer Lancaster at a time where a friendly face was most needed. Mr. Scott was a great comfort to Officer Lancaster with a brave heart and loving spirit. We congratulate Mr. David Scott and honor him with the Citizens Valor Award. Please join us on stage.
Scott got called in on an emergency and wasn't able to be here, so I was representing him today.
You are?
Keith Jones.
Thank you so much for him, and please let him know. Give him our love.
Next up is the Exceptional Duty Award. Will the following please come up to the stage? Captain James Clement, Captain Danny Meserole, Driver-Operator Ricky Redmond, Driver-Operator John Bishop, and Driver-Operator Drew Bates. Will you please come to the stage? On April 18, 2007, crews responded to an apartment fire on Hucourt Place. On arrival, personnel were met with victims still trapped in the building. Crews used quick thinking and skill to deploy a ground ladder and rescue victims from the second floor of the building, and then quickly made entry into the building and initiated attacking the fire. The rescued civilians had no injuries, and the fire was quickly extinguished. The Exceptional Duty Award. Congrats to you all.
They worked on not yesterday, but the day before, so most of those guys were far away. But I'm accepting on their behalf, and I appreciate the honor.
Thank you so much. Captain Jovan Carter and Master Firefighter Rodney Heindel, please join us. On May 20th, 2017, crews responded to a head-on motor vehicle collision, resulting in one of those vehicles catching fire with the driver trapped. The other vehicle had 7 injured patients. All units on the scene worked as a team to free the trapped patient, extinguishing the fire and triage and transporting all the patients to the emergency room in a timely and organized manner. Captain Jovan Carter, Master Firefighter Rodney Heindel, thank you so much.
All right, next up is Driver-Operator Larry Shaw and Driver-Operator Melissa Van Wy, Exceptional Duty Awards. Please come to the stage if you are here. On July 4, 2018, crews responded to a working house fire while working in the structure. Driver-Operator Van Wy located 2 dogs. She removed them from the home to a waiting driver who was Operator Shaw. They went the extra step using equipment meant for humans to attempt to resuscitate the dogs. After a few minutes, one of the dogs started to breathe on its own. Animal control was called and transported the dog to the vet for further care. The dog is alive today and well thanks to their efforts and care. So congrats to you. Congrats to them both. Exceptional Duty Award.
You remember these stories so well, don't you? All right, we want to, at this point, say thank you. That is our time. And we appreciate you. Monica, come on down. Thank you so much. And make sure you watch CBS 46 Morning News from 4:30 to 7 a.m. Thank you, Karen, and thank you, Rodney. Let's give them a round of applause as they leave us. I am going to owe all of these anchors everything before it's over with, but it's worth it to see the smile on your faces. And those of you who took pictures with the anchors who were here, thank you so much.
Okay, now your final two presenters. Portia Bruner, news anchor of Fox 5. This woman is the hardest working woman in television right now because she does the noon, she does the 5, she does the 6. Whatever they need her for, Portia's there. But here's what I love about her. She's so down to earth. All the women in here, you understand what her big deal is. Bargains with Bruner. She knows every thrift shop in town, and she looks elegant all the time. But what I like about her most is her reporting and her anchoring. So we decided to pair her with my arch nemesis. She's the only person who can probably control him. I'll tell you a quick story. When I was anchoring the news and I needed to get some information for teases for stories coming up, I kept calling Mark Winnie and saying, I need the information. Mark, when are you going to give me this? Mark, and so I was really nagging him, and all of a sudden I hear, get back, baby. We still speak. But all of you know Mark Winnie for his professionalism, for his investigative reporting, and you know this about him. Anyone in law enforcement, in public safety, Mark is going to be there for you. I mean, he is the ultimate reporter. After 3.5 years working in news, Mark was hired by the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. He switched to television and has been with Channel 2 Action News since 1986. He's broken some of Georgia's biggest stories. His coverage of a series of mail bombings which killed a federal judge and a civil rights attorney led to the publication of his book on the case, Priority Mail, and it's still available. Mark is active in a number of charities and in his church. And for several seasons, he even coached his boys' youth basketball and baseball. He's married to Kate, who is the love of his life. And he will do anything in the world for her, including triathlon type stuff. You were swimming this past weekend or the weekend before to raise money for cancer. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce to you the incomparable Portia Bruner and Get Back Baby Mark Winnie.
Well, a point of clarification. The exact phrase was back off, baby. Monica Pearson, the big sister I never had. Obviously, I'm the kid brother she never wanted.
And she is just my idol. I came to this city years ago and was like, man, now that's how you do it. So thank you, Monica, for being a role model and for paving the way for many women like me and for dealing with this joker right here.
I do want to say, I'm really humbled to be here. As I know, Portia is, I've been a DeKalb County homeowner for more than 3 decades, and the men and women in this room have interposed their own personal safety and well-being between my family and thousands of others and harm. And for that, I'm deeply appreciative. And, you know, CEO Thurmond, you talked about calling. And that's what I see when I look out here. I see people who are using the gifts God gave them in that particular combination to serve others. You know, and it's, you know, people in this room know it's not about the money and it's not about the ego. When you use those gifts in that way, that is the definition of calling. So I appreciate you, and you're in my prayers.
Amen. And to echo that sentiment, I can say as a South DeKalb homeowner for about half that time, about 17 years now, I too appreciate, not just from the perspective of having covered what you all do, but as a person who has received the services. Many years ago, my son, when he was just a little guy, was having some breathing troubles, and as a new mom, and Station 16 showed up right on time, and they didn't leave until my son was fine. I was still the one looking panicked. And they talked me through it, and my husband was like, they're fine, they gotta go. But I remember that, and I remember the looks in their eyes, and it was not because I was the news lady, it was because they were concerned about my son and me and my husband and wanted to know that we were all fine. And a few years ago, our family was a victim of a break-in. And the police department responded quickly and did everything they could to make sure that we felt safe. My sons never even knew what happened because of the way they communicated with their father and made sure that everything was handled smoothly, but that the necessary information was taken. And so I always am grateful to South Precinct and very proud to be a resident of South DeKalb County. Speaking of life-saving, would Officer Darwin Jones please come forward? Badge number 3160. The call to protect and serve is not turned off when an officer is off duty. On July 30th of this year, Officer Jones was attending his daughter's school orientation. In the midst of listening to laughter and joys of a new year to begin, Officer Jones heard a loud scream. Running over to ensure that everyone was well, Officer Jones observed a 2-year-old child not breathing. Without a second thought, Officer Jones began administering back thrust and chest compressions until he was able to dislodge a piece of candy that was stuck in the child's throat. Once that candy was dislodged, the child showed signs of life, amen, breathing and beginning to cry. Officer Jones is to be commended for saving a life. The little
Every parent's nightmare. Oh, Officer Joshua Kimball, come on down. Every parent's nightmare is that their child would not be in a position to breathe. On July 6, 2019, Officer Kimball responded to a call to report to a local gas station to assist a person down. Being the first to arrive, Officer Kimball jumped into action, realizing that the unconscious victim was a 3-year-old little girl. Without delay, Officer Kimball began CPR and life-saving measures, resulting in the little girl's revival. A failure to respond in such a rapid and precise manner could have resulted in a tragic outcome. Officer Kimball is well deserving of the Life-Saving Award for his prowess under pressure. Officer Joshua Kimball!
Would Officer Samuel Woolwine please join us? At various points within an officer's career, they are faced with the opportunity to serve by often utilizing the life-saving techniques that were learned in training. On October 12, 2018, Officer Woolwine was no exception. When assisting and responding to an incident where a person was shot, Officer Woolwine jumped into action, utilizing a shirt to render aid to a victim by keeping pressure on the victim's injury and preventing them from losing significant amounts of blood. Officer Woolwine was relentless in preserving the victim's life and continued life-preserving methods until the medics arrived. The victim was stabilized as a result of the quick thinking and life-saving efforts of Officer Woolwine. We commend you for a job well done, sir.
Juanita Mathis, would you come to the stage, please? When SWAT, bomb squad, and K-9 have been activated, an incident has clearly escalated. On June 19th, 2018, officers responded to locate an armed gunman that had been wanted for several robberies and assaults. The search was intense, very involved. Ms. Juanita Mathis called 911 and provided such clear and concise information. It led our teams in the right direction. The goal of our county is working together, the community and the county, and it was because of the specialized training and specific tactics utilized by the county teams and the commitment of our proud citizens. We're proud of you. That a 2-week crime spree ended without serious injury. The incident was the epitome of the strength and positivity that comes from working together for the greater good. We celebrate Ms. Mathis and we honor her with the Citizens Award for her commitment to see a better DeKalb County.
was an incident exceptionally handled. It was highlighted, our goal of working together with the citizens of our DeKalb County to sustain beauty within it. Would the following brave servants please come forward for a departmental commendation? It's several, so make your way up, please. Julio Alicea, Courtney Carson, Devin Davis, Jose de Lima Villafan, Thomas DeVoy, Charles Fowler, John Hanson, Taniska Moore, Marcus Olds, Norman Shepard, Brandon Simpson, Leston Simpson, Mark Taylor, Charles Turner, and Lee Webb, as you make your way up.
This is the same incident for which Ms. Mathis was honored. And I can imagine they probably move faster when they're doing PT or on an emergency call. Big round of applause for those earning this departmental commendation. Thank you very much. Still in connection with that same incident, the Exceptional Merit Commendation with Mark Connors, Melvin Dixon, Douglas Harmon, Trey Jones, Gabriel Pope, Stephen Rapier, and Matthias Tillman. Come to the stage. Demonstrating that kind of lightning-fast response. We're honored to share this stage with you, seriously. Big round of applause for those receiving this Exceptional Merit Commendation. Those dudes in shape.
Yes, they are. I mean, I don't want to say that out loud, but yes, they are.
Oh, you did.
For Exceptional Merit Award, DeKalb County, I ask the following firefighters to come forward. Captain Mike Hart, Driver Annette Haygood, Master Firefighter Preston Fant, Driver Operator Brad Barman, Driver Operator Matt Bush, and Master Firefighter Josefa Leota. Please come forward. DeKalb Fire Rescue crews were conducting interior operations on a working house fire when a crew member collapsed inside the structure. Heavy Rescue 24 and Engine 14 personnel were able to find and remove the injured crew member from the structure. They carried him to a waiting ambulance, and personnel from both Engine 14 and Heavy Rescue 24 rode into the hospital to provide care for the crew member. The following are awarded for their exceptional merit on that day. We thank you for your service. For a certificate of merit, would Officer David Pena Rodriguez please come forward? Badge number 3344. Is someone here on behalf of Officer David Pena Rodriguez? Oh, he's coming from the way back. I'm sorry. My readers don't go that far back. My apologies, sir. In such a short period of time, Officer David Pena Rodriguez has been able to patrol, deter, and assist in the capture of violent armed robbery and murder suspects. By utilizing his innate ability to connect with community citizens and his dedication to see an apprehension to completion, Officer Pena Rodriguez is honored with the Exceptional Merit Award. Your exemplary performance and countless commitment to a job well done exhibits the greatness of DeKalb's finest, and we thank you, sir.
Captain Scott Stroop, please come to the stage. On January 3rd, 2018, crews arrived at an apartment fire. The crews faced heavy fire and involvement securing the building and unblocking exits that caused 10 residents to be trapped in various parts of the apartment building, including a family of 5 on the 3rd floor balcony. With all of the needs for rescue, ground ladders were deployed to rescue the victims. Captain Stroop and his crew from Engine 7 comprised one of the first arriving units to the scene and were working quickly to rescue trapped residents. As the fire grew and time became of the essence, the father of a young child was forced to drop his child from the top of a ladder as he escaped the flames of the 3rd-story balcony. Captain Stroop recognized the precarious position the father was in and positioned himself at the bottom of the ladder on the side of the father. The father was holding his young child with one arm while gripping the ladder with the other hand. As the father began to descend the ladder, panicked and concerned for the safety of his baby, he dropped the child into the waiting arms of Captain Stroop, who made an amazing catch, preventing the child from being injured. Captain, I guess we should say Julio Jones Stroop, sustained a severe shoulder injury and injuries to both knees from the impact of the falling child nearly 3 stories into his arms. For his act of courage, he is awarded the Meritorious Service Award. And,
Yes, I changed my appearance a little bit. Captain Stroop is definitely planning on attending. He had to take a test today for a class he had attended for several weeks, and the final was today. So unfortunately he couldn't come, but he thanks you. If anyone's aware, remember it's the famous baby catch.
Yeah.
All the crews there did a fantastic job in bringing that family to safety. I'm glad I can represent them.
Thank you very much.
We all remember that. All remember that. That was a blessing. Would Master Firefighter, Logan Bergener, please come forward. On November 14th, 2017, crews responded to a 2-car vehicle accident with injuries and a person trapped on Mountain Industrial Boulevard, not far from here, South Royal Atlanta Drive in Tucker. While en route to the scene, DeKalb Emergency 911 operators updated the responding units that one of the cars involved in the wreck was also on fire. The Master Firefighter Bergener was the acting officer in charge on Engine 5 that arrived on scene, where he found that a sedan had jumped in the median and struck a minivan head-on, and that sedan was indeed on fire, with the driver still trapped inside. The fire had already spread into the passenger compartment of the car and was causing additional injuries to the trapped driver. The Master Firefighter directed his driver and tailboard to pull a hose line and began attacking the fire to protect the trapped driver. Master Firefighter Bergener used an axe to break a window and to gain access to the sedan and reached the passenger's compartment and entered the vehicle, placing his body between the fire and the driver of that vehicle, who was seriously injured and unresponsive. He then began to work to free the driver and was able to pull the victim out of the burning car to safety, where the driver could begin receiving medical treatment for his injuries from the wreck as well as burn injuries from the fire. Immediately following the rescue of the driver, Master Firefighter Bergener began working with his crew to triage the other patients on the scene and provided essential updates to other crews that were still traveling to ensure they had all the information they needed to respond accordingly. Master Firefighters Bergener's actions on this incident exemplified the highest qualities expected of the men and women of the DeKalb County Fire Department Fire Rescue and led to the best possible outcome for the residents injured in the wrecks, as well as ensuring the safety of those under his command that day. It is my honor to present the Medal of Honor to Master Firefighter Logan Burton.
Officer Andre Johnson and Officer William Menifee. Imagine the heart-pounding nature. Many of the men and women in this room don't have to imagine it. Of responding to a call where a colleague has been shot. On August 1st, 2019, Officer Andre Johnson arrived to assist a call where Officers Nunn and Menifee had been ambushed and in the midst of rounds being fired, relentlessly protecting his fellow officers. This gives me chills, seriously.
It does.
Johnson returned fire while covering and carrying the wounded officer to shelter, utilizing his skills and training, his heart, his courage, and more. Officer Johnson offered first aid to the injured officer, providing relief for bleeding through bandages and tourniquets. Officer Johnson was not only calm and selfless, he was brave and courageous under immense pressure and stress. We are thankful for Officer Johnson, his dedication, and how he lived the call to duty.
Responding to call with imminent danger is not strange to Officer William, to the officer who has committed his or her life to serving and protecting. Officer William Menifee approached the call with excellence, prepared with the best of training, and when rounds were fired, Officer Menifee provided rear security, ensuring that a wounded fellow officer was carried to safely. Officer Menifee displayed immense individual bravery while he underwent a high and real threat to his own existence. He exhibited a calming presence and a complete regard for his fellow officers, displaying courage, dedication, selflessness, and of course, heroic professionalism. Officer Menifee is awarded the Medal of Honor for truly exemplifying the act of honoring his fellow officer and for serving under the most stressful and challenging of circumstances. Would Officer Derek Nunn, badge number 3467, please step forward. It goes without saying the danger that officers face each day is taken for granted. When most of us arrive at work, we expect to come home unscathed and unharmed. Each day that an officer steps into his or her uniform, or he or she goes to work to serve with a prayer to return home without incident. With a dedication to protect and serve, Officer Derek Nunn responded to a call that exhibited his outstanding individual act of bravery. Upon arrival to a call, Officer Nunn was greeted with gunfire and badly wounded, but remained committed to returning fire to protect his fellow officers. Officer Nunn, in the midst of being hurt and fearing for his own existence, displayed a calm demeanor and complete disregard for his own personal safety, proving his selfless and courageous nature under gunfire. For his complete dedication to justice, we honor Officer Nunn with the Meritorious Service Award and the Medal of Honor, an award befitting a hero in the eyes of law enforcement and citizens of the community. Please join me in standing and giving the fire officer his due.
with profound gratitude, we celebrate the numerous promotions within the police department. If you have been promoted within the past year, please stand and be recognized.
And with a grateful heart, we celebrate the numerous promotions within our fire rescue department. If you have been promoted within the last year, please stand so that we may recognize your service to DeKalb Fire Rescue.
We're also grateful to celebrate our LPO graduates. Please stand if you are an LPO graduate and be honored. It's been our profound pleasure to serve this morning as the MCs of this part of the program, and we're excited to celebrate excellence right here among us in DeKalb. Before I bring up Major Jay Eisner, and I will say he was promoted after he did an interview with me. I'm going to take full credit for that. Let me turn it over to my co-MC.
I just want to say thank you. And again, we know not to even use the term routine call because we know there isn't one. And to the men and women, to those of you who get up every day and go out and run towards what the rest of us are running for, and to the 911 operators, and to everyone who makes those calls for service count. We just want to say thank you. May God continue to bless and cover each and every one of you with 2 legs and even with 4 legs like K-9 Officer Janko.
Well put.
Major Jay Eisner will now come to provide our closing remarks.
So, Mark, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I recommend it highly. An interview by Mr. Winnie is a special thing. I'll mention I met him working part-time in Oak Forest, Hatton Drive, on a Saturday night when he came in looking for a young man he'd been mentoring who'd gotten back in trouble. So his efforts go far beyond just broadcasting the news. So thank you for that. So we're almost done. No. We started on time. We were finished early, and the food was good. So I think I'm pretty happy. If you'll give me about 3 minutes, there's some people I really want to recognize again, and then the chaplain will give us the benediction. So again, of course, I want to thank CEO Thurmond and Director Lumpkin for their leadership. Both for this event and for our county. This is my county. I'm retiring soon, and it feels really good to know that the organization and the county are headed in the right direction. So thank y'all. To our county... To our county commissioners for their support and commitment to DeKalb County, the same. And I hope everybody will give one last big hand for Lori Wexel, Chef Dave, and the staff here. Because this is way nicer than anything I usually go to, so thank y'all. I want to thank all of our presenters. Really appreciate, I know how early y'all's days start. I appreciate y'all being here so much. And of course, Monica Pearson. She's been a wonderful MC, and of course, we know she also gave so generously to help this event happen. So give her a hand, please. If you look in the back of your program, you'll see our sponsors. These are people who gave their money so that we could have this event. And so I really, really appreciate them, the DeKalb Police Alliance, for their assistance. So please, for the sponsors that are here, please stand. And if we're not able to attend, we still want to give you a hand anyway. So, almost done. But we have to get a moment to recognize 2 people who worked so many hours to do this. That is Brittany Moss and Chaplain Olivia Maxwell. And I need y'all to step out. Brittany, I need you to step out here, please. They work so many hours to do this. And you know, if y'all don't know this, our chaplains are volunteers. And we ask a lot from them, and they give us a lot. And so for all the chaplains who are here, I want just one more time to thank them for what they do for our department. If I've left anybody out, I apologize. Know that we do extend our gratitude. Ms. Charlene, of course, has been wonderful. Thank you. The last thing is, do we have any family here for members of the Department of Public Safety? Do we have any firefighters, police officers, families here? Please stand up. Could we all give them a hand? You know, I admire and respect everyone who chooses to serve the way that we serve, but our families give too, and without normally the recognition, so I appreciate y'all doing that. So that actually is about to conclude our ceremonies. I'm going to hand it over to the chaplain for our benediction. Did I forget anything? Okay. All right. So thank you all so much for being here. I hope you've had a good time. You deserve it. And if you give one more hand to the chaplain, she'll come up.
Well, right before I close this out, and believe me, I'm really quick, we do want to make sure we have a special surprise both for the fire department as well as our police department. Will the Entertainment Commission from DeKalb County please come forward at this time for a special presentation to both our police and our fire as well as our 911.
All right, we're going to make this quick. We just wanted to honor all the officers and police officers who have helped us over the years to make DeKalb County the premier location for production in the state of Georgia. We are well beyond our $2 billion that we had economic impact in 2016. As you know, the state is now at $9.5 billion for 2018. So we are well beyond our expected projection for what this industry has done for DeKalb, and we just wanted to honor police department for all of their service and all the officers that have helped us to work every production, close down every lane, close down every street, and have worked really hard to support us. So we appreciate that service. This is Dee Dee Murray.
I'm Dee Dee Murray, and I'm the one that sends 1,000 emails requesting officers. So I would like for any officer that has served public to help us move these productions. Would you please stand?
Police and fire.
Police and fire, if you're here. If any of you guys. Okay, well, thank you.
Well, thank you. So we have awards to every department head, the police department, the fire department, and as well animal services for their support as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, DeKalb Police.
Everybody feeling good? All right, it's a good day. Everybody say it's a good day. Any day that we get to get up to serve, that God allows us to see the day, is an absolutely phenomenal day. Thank you so much for coming out today. This has been a labor of love. We love you so much that we wanted to make sure you had something befitting. Do me a favor. I know we're not in church and we're not in synagogue or temple, but turn to the person next to you. Say, I love you. I'm glad you're here. And I'm glad and I celebrate who you are. I celebrate you. If it's your, now be careful. If it ain't your husband or your wife and he said, I love you, make sure you check. I want no drama in DeKalb County. Sound all right? Will the Lord be with you, God be with you, and allow us all to go forth and have a wonderful day. We are dismissed. Blessings to you.